What is going on, everybody? How are we doing on this fine Thursday evening? My name is Eric. Welcome to Q2C VR Gamer Live. We are a weekly VR talk show that airs live every Thursday evening. We go live to YouTube, Facebook, Twitch, Twitter, the multiverse, Skeeva. We're here, there, everywhere. We're going to take over the Between Reality ship. Say goodbye. It's Q2C VR Gamer Takeover, bro.
Nice. I'm so stoked to be here, man. Thanks for taking over the ship. Thanks for doing the show from the road, because I can't go without QTC.
Hell yeah, absolutely, man. No worries. And if you cannot catch us live, you can always catch us afterwards on your favorite podcast platform. Skeeva, who has to do the podcast stuff for you guys? Because I do it for us, and dude, I'm always so late uploading episodes.
I do.
I'm like 10 episodes
get it done that night.
What? Otherwise. That night?
Mm-hmm.
Oh my god, I'm like 10 episodes behind. Todd really needs to take this over. Seriously.
I love my audio listeners too, bro.
I do too. They hate me, dude. They hate me. They're like, dude, you never upload. I'm like always probably like at least 6 or 7 episodes behind. At least.
Oh, dude.
Yeah.
Oh, yeah. Bad Eric.
But what is going on? Thanks for being here, everybody. As you can see, there is no partner from the Great Northwest. We have a partner from the Great Southwest, from the Phoenix, Arizona area. What's up, dude? How are you doing?
I'm pretty good, dude. You know, I am finally back from the VR tour, which you are almost back from. And I've got to sleep on my own bed and use my own shower, and it's fantastic. Feeling good.
I know. We had a long like, I don't know, marathon VR like tour across the nation, but it was a lot of fun, man. We met a lot of people. We talked to a lot of people. We saw a lot of people again, and we kind of lived together for about a month.
We did.
Me, you, and Jasmine kind of lived together.
Yeah, you are a great roommate, dude. I gotta say.
Thanks, man. You too. Yeah, we didn't kill each other. We had a long month of ups and downs, but man, we really didn't kill each other. That's good.
Yeah, no, we're still alive. No black eyes or anything.
Seriously, yeah. I mean, if we can get through that, we can get through anything. Really.
Oh heck yeah, man! Heck yeah. No, it was great. We went to a lot of places, hung out with a lot of amazing people, saw a lot of killer VR, and I would do it all over again. Just not for a little bit.
Yeah, we need a little break, but then we'll probably do it again coming up not too long, because AWE is like shortly around the corner, man. Before you know it, we'll be going to VR or what was it? AWE, and what was the one in Denver?
VRML Con.
VRML Con.
VR Master League, the kings of esports.
Yeah, we're gonna check that out. Maybe hopefully we'll get our butts over to Colorado to check that out as well.
Yeah, we gotta, and we just gotta like show up at Roots' house. We just don't even tell him. Just start banging on the door.
Yeah, Roots D, we're here. Get up, we're here.
Let us in. Don't turn the lights off. We know you're home.
Yeah. How dare you like turn your lights off and say you're not home? Open up for Skeeva and Nash. But yeah, as you guys can see, there is no Todd tonight. He is still in Roatan, having a terrible time, I'm sure, on an island.
Poor guy.
Yeah, I feel so bad for him. I do feel a little bit bad though, because apparently the island's under like major construction, and he loses power for like 5 to 6 hours a day. So no air conditioning, no internet, no power, no, but hey, you go outside, you swim with dolphins and ride horses.
Yeah. Wow. Yeah. I mean, if you're gonna lose power, I guess that's the place to do it.
Yeah. I would hate to do it somewhere where the
graphics are sick out there.
It's almost like real life. Yeah, I mean it's a cool place to do it. And D will join us hopefully next week. She's still with her move. She still hasn't unpacked like cameras and green screens and all that stuff. So we don't have D yet back. But hopefully next week we'll have the band all back together. I'll be home back next week, next Thursday. Skeeva, I'll be home back in my own studio with my PlayStation VR 2.
Yes.
I can't wait. I miss it.
Let me ask you this. You're finally going to be home after over a month without your PSVR 2. What are you hopping into?
It's easy. Switchback. I'm going right to Switchback.
Nice.
First thing I go to. I haven't played it yet. Everybody's talked about it. It's like either you hate it or you love it. I don't know. It's like all over the place. I need to see it for myself and play it. And that was the one thing that I'm like really wanting to get into is that. But I mean, there's a ton of others. I'm excited about Creed. Have you tried Creed
Oh
yet?
yeah. Not on the PlayStation, no. And what a great way to play that because especially because the face haptics, right? You're getting bashed in the face in that game. What a great way to use that.
Yeah.
I've played Creed and I've played Thrill of the Fight with the B haptics facial interface and the tack suit and even the hand pieces and haptics in that game makes so much of a difference when you see that that jack dude in front of you and you see that punch coming at your face and you feel it.
The Jack dude, is it Orland Hooper?
Yeah, of course.
Because Orland Hooper's jacked, yo. I figured you don't have the drop there, so let me do that.
I do not.
Damn it, Skeeva.
Should have set up all the buttons before the show.
I know, right? So while we're doing that, Skeeva, let's say hello to our chat because there's some amazing people in here, and if we start talking about like VR games now, we'll just never break out of it. So
true that.
Let's say hi to some kick-ass people that are hanging out with us. And I just lost my chat. Holy frick! What happened?
Uh-oh.
It's gone.
Well, we do have we got Bluebell in the chat. We got Creeper Betty. What's up, Betty? What's up, Bluebell? We got Guido. Oh, Chi-Town D's here. Chi-Town D, we miss you.
What's up, D? We do miss D.
Yeah. We do.
You know who else misses the D? Yes, she does.
Oh, everyone. The answer to that is
everyone
misses
pretty
the
much.
D.
Yeah,
Yes.
always. All right, I got my chat back. Let's see.
Good.
All right, we're all the way back to the top. We have Kubo 92. Let's see. Oh my god, I lost it again. All right, it's Kubo 92. Michelle B is here. Creeper Betty says hack hugs. So I guess Hack the Game Cat must be here. We got Bluebell, Chris Oakes, Hack the Game Cat is there. Bry Cub is here. VR Spry Guy, Hussein X. Let's see. Tasselhoff is here. Guess whose birthday it is tomorrow? VR Spry Guy, but no, I'm just kidding. It's Tasselhoff's birthday tomorrow.
No way.
Yeah.
Wow, right on. Happy birthday, Tass.
Yeah, happy birthday, Tass. And I think he's like 26 or 27 years old, I think, tomorrow. Good. Congratulations, dude. You're still young. No, I'm kidding. I have no idea. He's probably 50. But he's gonna do a live stream, a daytime live stream, and he's calling it a marathon stream, Skeeva, and he's gonna go from like 8 to 5 or no 9 a.m. to 5 p.m.
Wow. Will his head be cut off the whole time?
Maybe.
Isn't that usually what he does? Doesn't he stream with his head cut off?
Does he?
Yeah.
Oh my god, no way. Cut his head off. Hell yeah. 9 to 5. That's I'm not sure you should call that a marathon stream. I think you got to go over 10 hours to be a marathon stream.
Yeah.
8 hours is like, I could do that.
Yeah.
It's like
easy peasy lemon squeezy.
You got to do 12 hours and have the headset be melting off your face. That's a marathon.
Minimum. Yep.
Minimum. Yeah. Let's see who else we got. Ashes to Ashes is here. Did I say Chris Oakes? Chris Oakes is here. Hussein X. Mepper is here. Mepper says hi to absolutely everybody in chat. I love Mepper and hi Mepper.
What's
how
up,
you doing?
Mepper? What's up?
Brandon VR is here. Guido 7335 is here. Let's see who else. Bluebell, Space Denizen, Void Citizen is here.
What's up, Void?
Wolveraza is here.
Wolveraza.
He says, I need to build a new shelf and set up a lot of stuff, but got Gambit today. I am choosing to not listen to the naysaying till I get in, but only thing worries me is the complaint on AI. Can fix that.
Who's naysaying Gambit?
I don't know.
I mean, there's technical issues, but the game is phenomenal. I freaking love Gambit. I feel like I've been playing it for, I don't know, like a year already.
I know you were in before we were.
Yeah, I just can't get enough of that game. It's very After the Fall almost. Like it has, After the Fall vibes without the zombies, right? With like a Borderlands type of feel to it. It's so good. They like improved so many things over this past year too. The guns feel so good. It's really
Yeah, they look
awesome.
really, really good.
I love it.
Yeah, we're going to talk a little Gambit here in just a few minutes. We'll go over what we're going to do for tonight. Let's see. Chi-Town D is here. Awesome Tatum, and let's see. Man, just give us so many people here. Orland Hooper, Rattlehead 9026, Ashes to Ashes. I think I said Techno Glitches here. What's up, Tech? Bacardi B.
Man,
Holy
so many
moly.
legends. Jay
Hell yeah,
Brad
man.
popping in.
Nice. What's up, Jay? Samson 143 VR is here.
What's up?
Jay Brad. Love Jay Brad, man.
Heck
All right.
yeah. What a good dude.
Sorry, guys, if I missed you, but that's as far as I can scan through. Because Skeeva, we gave away a PlayStation VR 2, not last episode, because we did viewer takeover last episode, but this episode before that, we gave away a PlayStation VR 2. And I didn't know if the guy was going to contact me because I'm under the assumption that Gleam is supposed to contact the winner. So I finally reached out to his email and said, "Hey, man, you want a PSVR 2? I don't know if you're out there, but we'd love for you to claim it so we can send it to you." And he's like, "Dude, I didn't even know. Nothing was sent to me." And this is the winner right here, Joseph Brokenborough. What's up, dude?
How's it going?
What's up, man? Hey, first off, thanks for watching. Thanks for being part of the channel. But second off, congratulations for winning the PlayStation VR 2.
Oh, thank you so much. It's totally awesome, and what a surprise! I can't tell you.
Yeah, hell yeah, man. Yeah, so you got it. I saw when you when we pulled your name, we saw it. It was you got into the Gleam giveaway, and the actual entry that got you the win was you went to Mr. Tasselhoff's print shop. You know, his 3D print shop, and you kind of visited there, and that was one of the things to do to get an entry, and that was the entry that won it for you. So
that's
super
awesome.
cool, man.
Right on.
So Joseph, you were telling me a little bit about yourself and that you're like not super into VR, but it's something that you've been wanting to get into. You tried like a friend's Quest 2 or something like that, and it kind of got you really intrigued about VR.
That's right. Yeah, I've used his headset a few times, and I thought it was totally awesome. And then I've been watching reviews on different headsets like the Vive and the I can't remember all of them. I apologize. I'm not a hardcore VR head. But you okay? And I've seen a lot of the reviews, including your guys' review on the PSVR 2, and it looks freaking awesome. I can't wait.
Wow! So you have tried the Quest 2 a couple times, and you're about to dive into the PSVR 2. Man, your brain's gonna melt all over the floor. I love it.
Yeah, I heard the refresh rate is amazing on it, and the screen door effect isn't as bad. And I'm trying to remember everything about it, but
those OLED screens, that HDR display. But the biggest thing is the quality of the games on there right now. It's just unreal, man. What are you gonna get into?
I kind of peruse what's out there and what's coming. I like the whole Horizon series. I love. So that that looks really awesome. I don't. There's so many out there. I love all the Star Wars stuff. I mean, they're like my kid. They're like my kids. I love all of them.
Tales from the Galaxy's Edge on the PSVR 2 is so good, and it's so criminally underrated. Like, I never felt so much like I was in a Star Wars movie before. You're gonna love it.
Oh, right on. I also saw they have I'm kind of into. I like the whole. I forget the name for it, the gamer name for it, but like there's the Cities game, like the Sim City kind of games, or God games kind of thing. That's all that was going to be there if it's not already.
Yeah, it's Cities VR, which is basically the flat game of that is Cities Skyline, I think it's called. But in VR, it's Cities VR, I think it's what it is. By Fast Travel Games, and yeah, you're absolutely, if you like that kind of thing, man, you are going to love that game because that is super detailed. There's a lot to it, and when you do it in virtual reality, it's like a whole new ball game.
Right on. Yeah.
How about The Walking Dead? Are you into zombies at all?
I'm not a big zombie fan. My daughter is, but I'm not. So,
That's cool. Joseph, do you have a PlayStation 5?
well, my wife didn't believe me that I won this contest, so she says we're not going to order one until we get it. I have a
That's
PS4. I have a PS4, and I have a pretty okay a PC at home. So this will go right up there, and I can't wait. I just can't wait.
Heck yeah, I don't blame your wife. I wouldn't believe it either until you guys get it in your living room, and then you can go get the PlayStation 5. But what is great about this is I'm glad you like the Horizon series, because the edition that you have coming is the Horizon Call of the Mountain edition. So you get the headset,
awesome.
you get the game included with that. Plus, I have a charging dock for the 2 controllers too. So it's like the full package that you're going to get. And I'm going to get that mailed out to you as soon as I get home, which won't be until next Thursday. I'm away with my family right now, but as soon as I get home, I have all your information, and I'm going to get everything mailed out to you. And man, without it being a person that is like we know directly in our community that really wanted this to me is one of the best ways to get it to somebody else. Like when we started chatting and emailing, and you were like, man, I tried VR and I really liked it, and I wanted to get into it, but just didn't have the way to get into it right away. Man, that makes, like, for me and Skeeva, for people that try and get as many people converted into doing virtual reality as possible, that means the world to us that somebody is looking forward to doing this. And seriously, I'm excited for you and your family for being able to put this headset on and try a lot of these amazing things. So
they get a report back when you do. We want to hear all about it.
For sure. I've been subscribed to the channel for a while, and I'm excited to see. I haven't had I'm remodeling the house, so I haven't had a lot of time to watch a lot of YouTube. But as soon as I can, I'm gonna like binge watch everything from you guys. So
well, we appreciate it.
No, I really appreciate it. It's an honor, and I know there's you got a lot of great subscribers, so I almost feel bad for feel like taking me away from them or something. But it's gonna go to really good use, believe me.
Yep. No, I can tell you that with the community that we have, I guarantee all of them are as stoked as we are for you to try this and get into something like this, get into VR, and we all love as a community seeing new people get into VR. So I guarantee you that maybe there might be a little disappointed if they want to win it, but they're super excited that we found somebody that is was willing to come on, number one, and talk to us, and number two is really looking forward to getting into virtual reality. And we're so glad. And yeah, we definitely, report back to us once you get everything. Come back, talk to us again, tell us about everything. We would love to hear your perspective. It would be super cool. And just want to say thanks
for sure.
On tonight, man.
Yeah, no, I appreciate it. Thank you guys. It's awesome. Thank you so much.
Hell yeah, we'll talk soon. We'll get that out to you as soon as I get back, and enjoy.
All right, thank you very much.
Bye,
nice meeting you guys.
All right.
Bye.
Skeeva, one more converted into the virtual reality family.
Wow. Changing the world one life at a time.
One PSVR 2 at a time. It only costs us $700 to convert one person. But
you get the Horizon bundle of PSVR 2 with the charging dock. Damn, you went all out there. That's awesome.
I know, right? It was supposed to be for me. It was supposed to be mine. I was like so freaked out, man. That whole thing was the weirdest thing, man. When that happened, like they literally took my money and put it on hold, and then they zipped it back out and put it back in my account. And I was almost guaranteed that I was canceled. I'm like, this was on the press. This was the Saturday before it was coming and was supposed to be delivered on Wednesday. So I was like in the middle of a live stream Saturday night, and I had gotten the alert on my phone that my money wasn't back on hold, or wasn't on hold anymore. It was now back in my account. There was no hold. I couldn't get a hold of PlayStation. It looked like they had canceled my order. I'm like, what the hell? I'm like, if I want to have a PlayStation 2 on, launch day, I better order another one. So
I would have done the same thing, dude. Would have done the same thing. Someone from Sony was watching your stream, and they're like, oh yeah,
we got them.
Let's sell more headsets.
They're like, look, our numbers are going to be way too low. It's terrible. We need to sell one more headset. Oh man, too funny. that was super cool to have him in, man. As soon as I started emailing him, I was like, "Hey, dude, you won this thing. I hope I want you to claim it."
Nice.
Because I really thought that Gleam got a hold of him, and it sounds like Gleam didn't, which is a little bit of a weird thing. But I did have his email, and I reached out, and I'm like, "Hey, in case this went to spam or something, you won this thing." And he got back to me almost immediately. He's like, "Holy crap, I can't believe I won this," and. It was nice that he had been a subscriber for a while. A friend had showed him a Quest 2 and he had kind of gotten hooked. He jumped into the community just to kind of like start to do some homework on getting this. And he was a gamer and his kids were gamers. So, the fact that we were able to get it to somebody who's going to give it a good home, and man, I cannot wait. Can you imagine that? Like your first real home own VR experience is going to be a PSVR 2 with those AAA games.
I can't even imagine. You should have him pop back in after he's had like a week or two with it, like when he's still fresh on that VR high, and listen to see what he has to say. Because
he'll probably start his own channel. He'll probably get hooked like us and start his own channel. We're like,
tell the world.
I know, right?
I see some gamer tag in the chat as well as Mateo 311.
Holy shit, man! Everybody's here. What's going on, guys?
Right?
Dude, I felt so bad. I missed a crew cast on Monday, but it sounds like you guys had a really good show.
Yeah,
and you guys had a pretty good discussion about the PlayStation VR 2 and the sales numbers and how what was it?
Yeah,
it was who was it that was reporting? It was it Bloomberg? Bloomberg was reporting how it was 300,000 units sold and it was a failure.
Someone needs to report just on the media.
Seriously.
And like call all of these idiots out. It's so stupid. Like I just don't get it.
I don't ever want to see media call a YouTuber clickbait or anybody call get on a YouTuber about clickbait, because to me the media is all about clickbait.
Yep.
And they have been for years. Media is all about sensationalization and trying to like make people like and instead of reporting on news, they have to try and make their own news. So it just kills me. It just kills me.
Yeah, and I don't know what's worse, like reporting on something fake or just genuinely having no idea what you're reporting about. It's all very skewed and weird information, and I don't know. Selling 250,000 of something in a month with it not being available in stores after a chip shortage. They're trying to like get all these PS5s out there. They're finally starting to make a dent. There's your average normal everyday Joe has no idea how to get a headset except for walking into Target or ordering it on Amazon, which you cannot get this headset there. How do they even know it exists? From like the one commercial they ran that one time? Like, it's insane. So I don't know. The whole thing is very weird.
I think it's completely ridiculous to judge anything before you can get it into a brick and mortar store, which I think is what all you guys said. And I've ranted on it a little bit too, and I kind of been a little bit away and a little bit out of things, but it's one of the things that I saw and I'm like, this is bullshit. And I think you guys did a really good job of explaining as bullshit. But here's the one thing I don't like. I want Sony to like tell us number one, when are we going to see these in a brick and mortar? Are they waiting till holiday season? Is it because there is a shortage of them and they don't have enough? Like why aren't they in Walmart and Best Buy and like Amazon yet?
I think it's all about the chip shortages. They have to prioritize getting PS5s out there so people with the PS5s can buy the PSVR 2s. If they can't get PS5s into the stores, then they might as well not even have released a headset, right? So they got to stock that stuff up, and then they can start putting their efforts towards producing this second piece of electronics that needs to be mass produced. Chips need to be ordered, circuit boards, you know what I mean? Like, it's not, we are literally coming out of the biggest global chip shortage that has ever happened and probably ever will, unless something else terrible happens. Hopefully not, right? But the whole thing is very, very silly. It's very skewed, twisted information.
Yeah, it sounds like they're all in Canada. It sounds like they sent every PlayStation VR 2 that they had physical, and they sent it to Canada so they can put it in their stores that nobody's buying. Like, do people not play games or VR anymore in Canada? I mean, is it just Todd and a couple
they
of
got to send them all out there. It's so cold out. You can't go outside. What else are you going to do?
What are you going to do?
Play VR, right?
Every time I say they're not in a brick and mortar, you got some Canadian yokel going, "Hey, I got 100 of them over here." Why are you not buying them then? Why is
Wow.
nobody buying them in Canada? Answer me that.
Man, that's
My
weird
Canadian brethren, tell
Whatever.
us. I know.
It's hard to play VR in our igloos, Chris says.
Oh my god, too funny. But yeah, I mean, I don't know. I mean, to me, I think what was it? It's like 270,000 or 300,000. But I mean, what was it? February 22nd or something like that.
Yeah,
I mean, we're
I think that
April
was the day.
6th. Yeah, we're
22nd
April
or
6th. So what would have been a good number? Like, where's
a
a good number
trillion.
where Bloomberg was like, "Hey, this is a huge win"? I mean,
Trillion.
do we need to sell them? 4 million? I mean, where's the number where we were like, "Wow, they sold that many"? I mean, is it a million? I mean,
Well,
are we half aware? I mean, without it being in a brick and mortar and one of the biggest countries in the world.
well, but then no one's clicking on those articles. What are they going to do? Just say, "Hey, it's all good." Right? No one's going to click on that.
Well, because they make it sound like there's 50 units sold. You know what I mean?
Yeah.
If you say this, again, if you're talking how many PS5s are sold, yes, but how long has the PS5 been out, by the way?
Like 3 years,
You
and
just
it's
don't
the
fix that.
lowest selling console they've had, and it's not because it's not good. It's because of chip shortages, right? So, but
Right.
no one's reporting on how the PS5 is a failure because it's not. Because there are other things in play here that have skewed the numbers. That it's just not. You just can't count this as anything else. There's been shortages in cars. Car prices have been up, but no one's saying the car industry's failing because they have record low sales. Like it's just all weird, man. You got like IGN that doesn't know what the heck they're talking about. You got Bloomberg that doesn't know what they're talking about. And then even when they do, they feed on the negativity. And that's all they want to do is talk about how terrible everything is so they can get clicks.
Yeah.
It's,
Here's the catch-22.
It
Like
is.
we're always saying that like we want like the major news media to cover VR, right? Like we want VR to be news streamed so that they cover it. They always do such a bad fucking job covering it that I don't want them to cover it anymore.
No, we're like, just kidding. Don't cover it anymore. Just
seriously,
kidding.
just don't even do it. You know what I mean? Like IGN's a huge a gaming news service, right? It's one of the biggest in the world. And we're always like, wow, IGN's going to cover VR. And they always fuck it up so bad that I'm like, you know what? Don't cover it, please. I'd prefer not. Let us like be in obscurity and don't cover us, because every time one of these news services grabs a hold of something, either it's grossly misrepresented and misreported, or they get everything wrong. What was the last article IGN did where they were listing the top selling standalone headsets and they had like a fucking Acer in there or something like that? And they didn't even put the Quest 2.
Yeah, let this just be a lesson to take everything that you see in media and anywhere really, and take it all with a grain of salt. Don't take all of this stuff as chiseled in stone. This isn't. These are normal everyday people that sometimes they get put on something. Their boss is like, "Hey, you need to report on this VR thing. I don't know what it is. Go figure it out." And then they're like, and they write an article. I'm like, "I don't know. Here, does this work, boss?" And they're like, "Yeah, good job. Publish that."
It's so bad.
Yeah.
It's just so bad. And it's like I know that there's like some of these people that just hate Sony, or they hate Meta, so they don't want to cover things properly or correctly, or they want the clickbait. But man, it's just, I don't know. For us who are in the VR bubble, it's tough for me to always make sure that I'm looking not through rose-colored glasses. Like I want VR to succeed so badly that sometimes I have a tendency not to see the downside of things when I maybe should. But I really think I looked at this as with as much right judgment as possible, to be fair. And I just don't see where this number is a bad thing. Again, if I could buy, if Joe and Sally Walmart could buy it today and put it in their house today, and there was only 300,000 sold, I'd say, okay, maybe we got an issue here. Or, even 6 months from now. But God, man, if I can't impulse buy this thing, and that's the other thing too, Skeeva, it's it's the price. The price is way too high at $550. It's not worth it. Like, I mean, there's people are saying it's not worth. I mean, if you're saying this is not worth $550, you are out of touch with what good virtual reality is.
Yeah, it's weird. That's a weird thing too, because if you put the cost of the PSVR 1 in an inflation calculator, it comes up to over $650 in today's dollars, right? So it's actually, in a way, PSVR 2 is cheaper, right? You got to account for inflation. This stuff, circuits and chips and manufacturing doesn't get cheaper; it gets more expensive, and the value of the dollar changes. This is just the way it is, I mean, we have subsidized quests. Meta has put everyone in this weird um, delusion of what hardware should cost. You got the Vive XR Elite that came out, and they're like, well, we will charge for the hardware and we're not going to take your data. So it's $1,100, right? I gladly purchased that. They did not send me one for free. I grabbed that out of my own wallet because I am worth more than the $600 subsidization that Meta is putting on a headset, but so I'm willing. And I know some people don't have the luxury if they want to play VR and they don't have the money. I get it, right? But like there's an option out there for everybody. If you want a $400 headset, you can buy the Quest. If you want something that's similar without data issues, you can buy the XR Elite. If you want something that has HDR OLED displays with some AAA games, you can buy the PSVR 2. There's like options. No one's making anyone buy anything, but it's all out there. And this isn't slowing down. If VR was failing, all of these companies would be abandoning VR, but everyone's doubling down all the time because all the smart people out there making it, they're all like, we're going to get this to a point where, the everyday Joes are going to see it and go, oh, like this is just too powerful. It's just too powerful to give up on.
Yeah. I mean, we can tell you guys, I mean, like, because we get a chance to do what we do and we see kind of like what's going on behind the scenes. To me, I mean, if you want to know the state of VR, talk to the people that are making games that are relying on you buying their game as a livelihood, and they're putting their like hard-earned time and money into games. They're as excited as ever for virtual reality. Trust me. Maybe even more so, Skeeva, that the people that we've been talking to for those past 6 months to a year. I mean, they are super excited to what they're doing now, like what they're working on. I mean, there's not many that are like, I mean, unless they just made bad games. But if the people,
there's a lot of that.
Yeah, the people that are good developers that are making good games are excited for what's going on.
Yeah, yeah. Meta came out and said there's a correlation between sales and quality. I don't know how that's news, but of course, that's usually the way it goes. But there's quality and there's proper marketing and PR too, right? You could have the best thing in the world. If no one knows about it, it's not going to sell. But there are some really good titles out there, and they're doing very, very well. The studios that really put a lot behind their games that can afford to, it's a catch-22. There's a lot of developers that have the passion that just don't have the money to go hire 30 people, 50 people, 100 people to go out there and make an amazing game, but they got to start somewhere, and that's what they're doing. And I love that this is the beginning of something, and we have seen studios come from nothing to making their way up to becoming like VR AAA. Like, look at Resolution Games. They only make gold, right?
Mm-hmm.
Where were they when VR first started? It wasn't that long ago. They were, people doing whatever, right? They weren't a AAA studio, and they got there by making quality games, charging the right prices for them, knowing how to market. So the games that are out there, the studios that are out there that really know what they're doing, they're succeeding. There's how many games did Meta say now have hit over 10 million?
It was like a lot. It was over 20, was it not?
Yeah, it was a decent sized number. I think maybe 40 or something. I don't know. But look at what Skydance is doing with The Walking Dead. They make movies. They have like Transformers coming out in theaters. That makes so much money. Like, what are they even doing? But they see the future of this tech, and they make good games, and they put their heart and soul into it, and it sells well. So yeah, keep on keeping on.
Yeah, and like I said, Mateo said in chat a little while ago, he doesn't have a problem, seeing the downside sometimes, and he usually calls it like it is, and I think Gamertag is the same way, and they're completely fine with those numbers. And I think if if they thought the numbers were bad, they would say so. And again, I would too. And again, sometimes I get excited for VR to the point where I don't see things properly, and I need to step back a little bit. But trust me, I've shit on a number of headsets before when they do things poorly too, and I just don't see it here. I know there's people that down this headset and think it's not a great headset, and there's people that think that it's not worth the money. And I completely, understand their position. I just don't agree with them. And
Yeah, for sure.
they need to start thinking the way I think. That's hard. No,
everyone needs to think like Mash.
Everybody needs to think like me. 100%.
There's definitely things that you can say about the PSVR 2. There's shortcomings. There's shortcomings with every single headset. I don't think this is the story here. At least it shouldn't be. It's unfortunate that it is.
And we just get to see a new guy like Joseph Brokenborough, who's just about to jump in and get his mind blown.
Right?
Jumping into like some Horizon Call of the Mountain. Wait till he gets like Resident Evil 8 on his face.
Oh my God, that game, dude, that game. Oh, I finally beat that when I got home. The first thing I did when I got home is after seeing my kid and putting her to bed, and like that night I went in and I finished that game finally. Oh man.
You're like, hug my daughter, Resident Evil. Let's go.
Yep. Yeah, exactly. Exactly. When she was out for the count, it was time to finish Resident Evil, and I did. And it saddened me that I had to leave for that trip right at the end of that game. And I thought about it like every day. I was like, gotta get home and play Resident Evil. That game is so good, man. I was very lucky that I was able to like avoid all of the Resident Evil footage. Like I tried so hard for like years it took for this to come out. I didn't play the mod because I was like, no, I want to play it on the new PlayStation headset when it comes out, and I waited because I wanted to, wanted all of these features that this headset had. And oh my God, am I glad I did, Sure, there's some mirror issues and stuff like that, but like the HDR displays in this and OLED in this game, oh my God, it melts my mind. You'd be like in a cave, like walking through a cave, and it's like pitch black, and you go around a corner and there's the opening, and it's almost blinding. You almost have to like squint your eyes because the light coming through, like the sun is like so bright, right? It was absolutely gorgeous. It was beautiful. It was AAA at its finest. It was also terrifying. Terrifying.
Know, right?
Like, and you know me, I don't usually play scary games.
I'm surprised you played this game at all. Seriously. I mean, I'm really surprised that you made it through and decided to do this game. Because I know you say it all the time. You're like, I don't particularly care for horror games in VR.
Mm-hmm.
And not that you don't care for them. I think you like them. I just think they freak you out.
They do. VR is immersive. And it can be almost too immersive when it's a scary situation. And there were times in Resident Evil that I had to take my headset off out of sheer terror and like walk around and just pace for like 20-30 minutes, let my like heart rate go back down, like breathe. It was terrifying. When you get like, some of it isn't so bad, right? A lot of it is really cool. It's like really combat based, which I really appreciated. But some of it was genuinely terrifying. That dollhouse.
Oh, tell me. I haven't got it yet. I want to get there. Holy crap. Talking about Resident Evil. GT, it's like 3 a.m., I think, in England. So I don't even know what he's doing awake. But thank you, GT, for being here so early in the morning. Just dropped a Resident Evil 4 key. Quest 2 Resident Evil 4 key.
Nice.
That's insane.
I played through that game 2 times in a row. It was so good.
I love
Someone grab that key.
The Mercenaries is so good with that. Skeeva, I want to get into Quest 3 in a minute, but Resident Evil 4, the remake or the remaster, however you want to call it. Flat edition, gonna play it modded? You're gonna play it flat?
I'm waiting.
I know you won't play it flat. I'm not even gonna ask that. You would never play it flat.
Not happening.
Will you play it the mod, or are you just gonna wait for the PlayStation 5?
No, I'm waiting for the official version. Absolutely. Just like I did with Resident Evil 8. Resident Evil 7 was maybe my favorite. It is up there with one of my favorite video games. It was really good. It's definitely my favorite Resident Evil game. And then 8 happened. I don't know. Now I'm kind of torn, but like I have to wait. I need to play this the way the devs intended it to be played, utilizing the correct utilizing all the cool things on the PlayStation VR 2. I'm definitely waiting. I really, like I said, I played through Resident Evil twice on the Quest. I loved it. I need that next level experience from this game when I play through it a third time. So
Yeah, I'm torn. I will definitely not play this flat, but I think I will play the PC mod, just to get in and try it. I do like mods, but I do want to play it, on the PlayStation. I'll do it both. I probably won't finish it. Like, I'll get into it a few hours deep and just check it out on PC, and then most likely when it drops on PlayStation VR 2, I'll probably get in and try and finish it. I've done that with a couple of things now, and I think for me it's a good way to do it, especially for me with, like, trying to cover these things like on Virtual Strangers or Strangers in the Night. It's good for me to know the difference between the two, and talk about the different mod between a mod and a full blown VR game.
Yeah, that's a good way to do it. Then I can listen, I can learn all about it, because in a perfect world, I would love to play flat games too. I really would. I love video games in general. The fact of the matter is, I work. I do have a job, right? As you know, and
Yes, you do.
I have piles of VR games, and it's an overwhelming amount of games that I just don't have the time to get through, and I need to be able to play those games. I love VR. I want to play the best VR games, and there's so many of them, which is
It's even worse. It's even worse now. I mean, when you're a content creator, you have a million games to play, right? Because that's kind of what you do. But when you start making VR your job, and you look at and making, deciding whether we're gonna help support a game, our job, you have to play all these games now too. So it's like, it's doubly like, it's like we pretty much have to play as much VR as we can now. And you know who I rely on to play as much VR as possible? Not my mom. Jasmine. VR with Jasmine. What's up, Jazz?
What is Jasmine doing here? What's up?
Oh, you're muted.
You're muted, Jazz. I thought Jazz was going on a different podcast. I think she was fooling me.
Oh, really? She's like, I'm going on my own podcast.
Hey,
there we go. We got you.
Oh my gosh, yeah, I heard there was like a podcast party without me. Oh, I can't have that happen.
Hell yeah. Get in here.
No, I was actually in another podcast, so I'm like podcast
really
hopping, I guess. Yeah, It was a non-VR one. It was a generic gaming podcast, and I told them, I was like, "Yeah, you guys know what the VR industry calls people who like play non-VR games? They're like, oh, it's like either flat games or pancake games," and they were like, "I love that."
That's it. We call them flatties.
Yeah, flatties. I was like, is that offensive? Because some people think it might be offensive to call flat gaming pancake gaming. They were like, no, I love that. I'm gonna say I'm a pancake gamer. So there you go.
Pancakes are delicious.
Well,
they are
from pancake gamers themselves. So we're good now.
So so it's not a derogatory comment. We can say it as much as we want. They like it.
Also,
Jasmine, we had the PlayStation VR 2 winner on earlier, and he was super happy to win.
Oh, that's so sweet. I mean, who wouldn't be happy to win a PSVR 2? But yeah,
it was pretty cool. I contacted him this week. His name is Joseph Brokenborough, and he has been a part of this community for a little while because he tried like a Buddy's Quest 2, and he like super loved it and was really into it, but just hadn't been able to get his own. And now he's like, him and his family are super excited about getting into some PSVR 2. Yeah, I'm excited when we can do pretty much cool things to bring more people into VR.
Man, giving people the gift of VR, it's like you look at it and you're like, oh, here's this piece of plastic, but what you're really giving them is like infinite realities. Whoa,
man! They asked me what some of they were like, what kind of games do you think are even like fun in VR? Like, what do you And I was like, oh boy, where do I start? I don't know where to start. Now to be like, first of all, I try to play some games like on 2D, and then I'm like, it's just so hard. It's so 2D.
That's so retro. Well, that's what we were saying. We just don't have time to play 2D. Like, I don't know. Like, you played Hogwarts Legacy for a little while just because I think you were so enamored with Hogwarts. But like before that, I mean, how often do you get the chance to play flat games?
Yeah, no, I'm not. What's that? But yeah, good time.
We
Yeah,
have to
it's
play
tough.
so much VR. Like it's just insane. Like we were playing a new game last night, the three of us, and trying to have a good time in there. And it's just when we all get we almost have to like set time for us to go in and play VR with each other now. I saw that you and Skeeva have a Zenith time set.
Hey, it was a secret. No, it
Oh, wait,
wasn't.
I'm pissed because I'm not invited.
You
Mad.
you play with us, but like you're at Disneyland, so I don't know what you want from us.
Oh, it's so cool. I love that we get a chance to go in and just like meet up and still play VR and try and have a good time too, though, right?
I feel like yeah, my happiness depends on me playing VR regularly. When I go through like my VR withdrawals, it's not good. It's not good for anybody.
No, it's not.
So I need an emergency VR headset at all times, just in case.
I got to tell you, I truly think that VR is good for mental health. And I will tell you why. So for me personally, it's like it can be really hard. Life can be difficult, right? A lot of things happen in life. You got work, you got like family stuff, you got like drama happens, you can't avoid it, right? There's all this stuff, and all this stuff is going on in your head all the time. At least it is for me. It's like, oh my God, I got to stop thinking about this. So it's a good way to stop thinking about this is to embody a character in a game, forget all of your own problems, like, and almost meditate and like become that character, right? And just like now you're living that life. And then Skeeva's back there. He's not even a thing right now until I'm
Who's
like out
Skeeva?
of this game. Yeah.
You know, some people do yoga, but it's just like I wish I could be like, patient enough for yoga, but I'm like I need something else to occupy my mind. So yeah, for sure. Have you guys seen this? Oh man, I forget what it's called. I think it's called recalibration or something. It's a VR. It's a visual music album. That's what they call it.
Wow.
It's so yeah, it's so gnarly. It just came out like very recently. I tried it over like a weekend very recently. And no one really knows about it. It's like this like musician and he like created like it's a visual album and it's just like all these like geometric shapes. It's like being inside a kaleidoscope while listening to music. It's freaking wild. This is the first time I've told anybody about it, but it's yeah, I guess I just haven't had time to like talk about stuff that I love.
Wow,
Yeah,
Yeah,
check it out.
I didn't even know about this. You didn't even tell us about this. So yeah,
No, I haven't told anybody. This is the first. That's why I don't even remember what it's called. These words have never left my mouth before. It's just sometimes you explore and you're like, wait, what? I have to find it now.
I love doing cool shit in VR.
But
I mean, people
that's
tell me all
very
the time, like,
therapeutic.
yeah, people tell me all the time, like, I have to like have a shooter to be happy, and I don't. If I have a cool experience, I'm happy with it, and it doesn't even have to be a game. It have to, as long as it's a good experience. Like,
yeah, of course.
Me and Jasmine are sitting here going, bullshit.
Oh, I swear to God.
Yeah, whatever you say,
No,
man. Yeah, sure.
yeah,
Absolutely.
What the hell am I doing here?
He's not lying, guys.
One of the best experiences I've had in VR is Wolves in the Wall. Wolves in the Wall is a super touching experience that there is no game at all there. It's a story about a little girl going through a thing with her family, and if you've never played Wolves in the Wall, it will make you cry. I swear. I promise. Have you ever played it?
I did.
No. What is it called?
It's called Wolves in the Walls.
It was super
You need to
sad.
play it.
It really was. But it was a beautiful piece of storytelling. It really
Yeah.
was. Yeah, I agree.
I love it. I love it.
Yeah,
and then
storytelling
Jasmine,
in VR is amazing.
100%. I want more. I want more like movie stuff in VR. I want to see. I want stories. I want narratives.
I feel like The Last Worker is like kind of story movie like to me when I played it.
I agree.
Yeah, so if y'all haven't heard about the game The Last Worker, yeah, that one is all about like a dystopian future when robots and AI have taken over the world and like what would our lives and humans be like, and it's freaking wild. That was the one I said that like it came out on PC, but it also came out in VR, and that's the one I tried in PC because like it got a little bit nauseous in VR. I know, what kind of VR player am I, right? But it's been a month since I played VR, so I think I have to like ease back into it again. Ugh. Anyway, this is why I have to have an emergency VR headset at all times. Okay,
so you don't get
back to the point. So that one was like, it was pretty wild, very movie-esque. And like, and it's weird, right? Because when you do a storyline narrative type of like PC game, it's like, oh, you're like playing a game and you're watching a story. But when you're playing something like that in VR, it's like, oh, I am experiencing something. It's like a simulation.
Yeah, you're seeing the movie through the eyes of the character, and you're doing the movements yourself, like you are the main actor in the story. Yeah, The Last Worker is cool because it's so close to where we could be really soon, right? So you're working for this company called Jungle, or they call it Youngle, but
That's
it's
funny.
supposed to be like an Amazon knockoff, right? And everyone has been taken over by automation and robotics, and this one dude that's left, right? And we're really close to that right now. Really close. Amazon is like mostly automation and robotics. And yeah, so it's really interesting story, and it's beautiful artwork, you know. So I'm
It
only
is.
about an hour and a half in. So
It is, and it is all story. Like to me, like the game, there is game there, but it's to me, it's not about the game. And so if you don't get the story and if you don't get the humor, I can see where some people are having like, if it doesn't land with you, the story wise, then it doesn't land with you. I can see where it would be a struggle to get through it. But if you do get the humor and you do like the narrative, it will draw you through, and the game is there just to kind of give you something extra to do, right?
yeah,
Mhm.
exactly. You definitely
Not
have to be
every
willing
story
to.
is for everybody.
Yeah, absolutely.
Absolutely not. Yeah. And there, it's this game is funny in spots, and it's vulgar, it's funny, and the character acting is awesome, man. Is it Jason Isaacs, I think is his name? The guy who played Draco Malfoy's father. He is the voice of the
Oh,
robot in the game, your robot buddy.
wow, I didn't realize that this whole time, but that robot was is quite good.
Yeah.
Yeah,
I
some of the
mean,
best voice acting in any video game.
Mhm.
yeah, I mean, when you
Really
have
is.
like there's a whole bunch of other high name actors in there too. I just can't remember them off the top of my head, but this is probably one of the highest ones since like I'm trying to remember Wilson's Heart. Do you remember Wilson's Heart?
Mhm.
That
Black
was
and
a
Wow.
white.
really good
Yeah.
one too. That was a black and white VR game, and that had like
Mhm.
a ton of big name character actors in that.
That was a good one. And later on, we're going to be talking about another game that has some of the very best voice acting I've heard as well too. But I'll wait on that.
Artful said, I said in the week, The Last Worker is my game of the year so far, as I'm not a fan of FPS games. It's a big
Wow,
statement. Yeah.
that is a big
Yeah.
statement. Holy crap!
I mean, it's a pretty good game. I don't finish games very often, but if the storyline is good, it'll keep me going.
Are you close, Jazz? I know you. Is it?
Okay. All right, fine. Okay, I'm gonna lay out all my secrets here. Everybody be kind when I explain my secrets. So obviously I was playing this in VR and I was trying so hard, but every night it was so hard for me to sleep because I was playing it like, every night a little bit before bed. And I was having such a hard time going to sleep because I was just so nauseous. I was like, I think I'm gonna throw up. And it's just because I get nauseous really easily. And I do think that's probably because I didn't play VR for some time. Anyway, so then I was like, okay, I'm gonna try to finish this game on flat because I have to. Like, I really want to know what happens. So I tried playing on flat and I was like, I don't know how my fingers work. I was like, what are you supposed to? I was getting so frustrated. I was just like, ugh. So anyway, I got through like more than halfway through the game. Okay, so I'm pretty proud of myself for that because I don't finish games usually. And then I watched a playthrough of someone on YouTube to find out what happens for the rest of the storyline. So that is my secret. Okay, everybody, get it out now. Let's not talk about this ever again.
We're not going to judge. We're not going to judge. You're
But
very busy.
I think that's like like shows you how much I wanted to see what happened in the story. That I was willing to watch it on my on my phone in bed. Like, okay, tell me what happens. Yeah. Mhm.
I can see maybe why you got a little sick.
Cheater, Jasmine.
Artful.
There's a reason Twitch is like popular. Some people just want to watch people play games. Okay.
That's true. That's true. But yeah, I can see why you get a little sick because the movement in it, I don't know what it is. Maybe it's because everything is on one stick and not the like it's. Did you guys
On a
notice that?
long
Like,
stick.
you
On a
know,
long
never
stick.
you never mind. But yeah, because I don't get sick in VR, but I did feel a little something with the movement. I don't know what it is. It's just something that's a little bit off. So I can see why you might feel a little sick with it. But I think if you, like I said, I think if you were in your normal, your normal VR game groove, you'd probably be okay.
I have to mention something right now. Now, like I said in the chat earlier, but now that I'm a real voice and a face, Eric, is that a dress in the back of your stream?
It's not a dress. No.
Like,
My
is there
wife
something
and
you want
daughter
to?
is here.
Oh,
but
your
it's not
wife,
a dress.
sure. Is there something you
No,
want to tell us? I mean, it's
no.
fine. Like,
It's a blanket.
it's a really, yeah, sure.
It's a
Great.
it's a throw blanket. I promise. But my wife is here. She is here. We this is like we got a little chance to hang out with each other in here in Disney until I can get home next week. So.
Okay,
Yeah,
I'm gonna say one more thing, then I'm gonna stop taking over your stream.
go ahead.
The game or the thing that I was saying, the visual album thing, is called Recombination, and like, man, it's so nutty. I don't know if you, yeah. Anyway,
Where can you get Recombination?
it's on Quest.
Wow.
It's on standalone. Yeah, and it's beautiful. And
is
like,
it on App Lab or the official store?
Let me check. It's on App Lab. It's really expensive though. It's $35, but man, it's so good. I watched the album like I think 2 times in a row because I was just like, what is happening? It's very like in that scene in Interstellar at the end when he goes into like the 5th dimension or whatever, and everything's just super trippy. It's like that, but the entire time, and it just goes nuts. So there's one called like ancient something about evolution of, I don't know, I don't remember what it is, but the whole point of that, like that song, I suppose, and that like in that visual part is like the evolution of not human, but the evolution of something, and the way that they unveil it in this visual thing around you. You just like, whoa. It's just like at first I was like, what is happening? And then you see, and then you just gotta see it. It's so good. Yeah.
I need to do this now. And now
You do need to do this. And then when you do it, you're gonna be like, how does nobody know about this? It's fucking cool.
And you said this was App Lab, and is it a free experience?
No, it's not free. It's very expensive. It's $35.
$30. Wow.
35. But it's good.
I hope it's good.
It is. It's like an award-winning artist or something that did it.
You know what is on the Quest store and not on App Lab and doesn't cost $35, but is a kick-ass game? Is Arcaxer.
Hey, we're back.
Wow, this is like a surprise. I wasn't supposed to be here, and now you guys are here.
How's it going?
Good to see you, Jasmine. Nice to see you, Skeeva.
Oh, hi.
What's up, guys? How are you?
Of course, good to see you too, Eric. But these two are a surprise for me.
There you go. Yeah, we knew we were going to be together. These guys, you didn't know we were going to be here. So yeah.
Skeeva, did you know you were going to be here tonight?
I didn't. I came to the show and there I was. It was wicked weird.
I know that's what happened to me too. I'm not even wearing makeup, which is like very rare for anyone who is not in our company to see.
That's true.
Hi.
What's going on, Aaron and Anthony? How you guys doing? It's awesome that you guys are like hanging out together in the same room. And you got I can see you have your B Haptics vest behind you on your chair, which kick ass. By the way. But what's going on, guys? How you doing?
We're doing great. Yeah.
Yeah. Good. Just chilling on this fine Thursday afternoon.
I love it. I love it. It's cool, man. It was awesome that we got a chance to hang out a little bit. GDC. What tell us a little bit about your GDC? How'd you guys do there?
Yeah, definitely. It was great. We showed up on Tuesday. We spent most of the time just meeting up with all our friends in VR. Went to all the VR mixers and events that we could. Obviously, we saw you guys, which was great. It was overall just a great time. Just
yeah, it was super chill. Like Anthony was saying, there was a ton of VR mixers this year. It's really cool to see VR kind of taking over bigger sections of GDC every year. And yeah, getting to see all of our friends IRL was really neat. And we were able to talk to a lot of VR developers that I've been trying to get a hold of for a couple of years now, but face-to-face is a lot easier. So we've got some stuff we're working on that hopefully we can get some fun little Easter eggs across the world soon, which is, yeah, I'm really excited.
Heck yeah, yeah. We want to talk to you guys about some cool shit that you have coming down and a little bit of our Arcaxer and what's going on now. But yeah, I mean, GDC was super cool. I mean, like I was talking to Jasmine and Skeeva, and we all went to GDC last year, and we kind of had to hunt and find stuff last year for VR, and it was there, but you really had to look for it. And there was a lot of things that were not on the show floor. You had to go to like, a lot of different like hotel suites that are, away from the convention center. And they did have some of that this year, but there was a ton of stuff in the expo floor. And there was a lot of talks on VR this year that weren't there last year. So it was really well represented, I thought.
Yeah, it was awesome. Even outside of like, oh, go ahead.
That's all. VR was like everywhere at GDC. Like the second you go down the escalator, it's just like VR, VR. I was like, what the? Are we mainstream? Is this what it feels like to be mainstream? It was very cool.
Yeah, even outside of like the PSVR booth, we were able to just kind of walk around and talk to a ton of devs were boothing this year. It was super cool. We got to spend some time with the Click Games guys again. That was always nice to see them.
We got an exclusive meeting with the Pico devs. Got to see some cool stuff coming down the pipeline.
Yeah, we can't talk about that, but it was pretty cool.
Come on, no, go ahead, tell us. It's all right. Aaron, you be quiet. Anthony, go ahead. Nobody's here. It's just us. No, it was cool, man. It was nice to see that. Like, Jasmine's right. As soon as you came down the stairs, Meta was in your face, man. It was one of the biggest booths, flat or VR. It was one of the biggest booths, and then all those video screens. They have these huge video screens showing like different types of trailers and stuff, or different static screens, images. And one of the biggest ones was the Quest Pro, right?
Yeah,
definitely.
Oh, I want to tell a story. Okay, so when you first go down the escalator, and then on the right side, you'll see we saw Resolution Games like right there, and then as you head into the main expo, it's like Meta right there. And we're like, okay, so let's turn right and start walking. Then right next to it is like Pico, and then you're like, wow, okay. And then you keep walking, you're like another huge booth, and it was PSVR 2,
yeah.
And I was like, oh my god. And then you keep walking, and then there's like Pimax, which is a little smaller booth, but it was still like, dang, the second you walk into the expo, it's just like, when I say it's like everywhere and it was in your face, man, these booths were enormous and they were like right there front and center. And it was like, that's what I mean. I'm like, that's it. We're mainstream. It's done.
Beautiful.
Our work is done.
You know what? One of the biggest, one of the things that was there, it was a game there that we missed actually, and we didn't get a chance to play it until we went to Vegas. Was a game called Eggscape.
Yeah.
Yes, I talked to the developers for that.
Did you? That was freaking cool, right?
I have their sticker right here.
We missed it. Thank God we caught them at the Amusement Expo in Vegas the next week.
It looks super cool.
There.
Did you try it? It was so good.
I didn't get a chance to. They were pretty crowded. I think why you missed them is they didn't have any signage, but they did have cute little miniatures of like the wrestling arena and all the different levels that are like MR. And so I put like a magnet into those.
Yeah.
That game was so much fun.
Yeah.
You should have seen me, Eric, and Skeeva. All three of us played against each other. We're like, all right, someone told us we had to play this. So okay, let's play this. And we were all three of us were like screaming like little kids. You were just like, this is so fun. Yeah, it's so good.
We were talking to them. We're like, guys, this is because they're basically making that game for location based.
Yeah.
And we're like, guys, you need to go put this game. This is one of the best mixed reality games we've ever played. And they were like, well, maybe we'll put it on.
They were like, oh, is that so? Oh, well, okay. We were like, do you not know? Like, all three of us are like super obsessed with VR, and we're all freaking out. And the three of us don't even like the same type of games. And so for all of us to be like, what the heck? This is one of the best, like, might be the, like, definitely one of the best mixed reality games. And they were just like, oh, haha, that's so nice of you. Like, you're kidding, right? And we're just like,
like, no.
I don't think they understand what they have. It's so good.
Especially with VR, when you can get that little kid factor, that's what you're looking for. That's what you're striving for.
Maybe one of you guys can explain the game, because I don't know how to explain it.
I didn't get a chance to play it, but I did see your guys' glowing reviews on Twitter. It seems really cool. And the art style is off the charts for me.
Skeeva, hit it, man. Tell everybody real quick about the game.
For me, it was kind of like Astrobot in the room you're in, right? Like it's all mixed reality color through the Quest Pro, but the levels are being built out like around you, and you're walking around. But it's co-op too, so you're walking around this space with your friends. All of your third-person characters are there. It's drawing on all these wild things. You're like hopping in helicopters and fighting bosses, and then flying through roller coaster tracks and going through these really cool standard levels, like beating up things, and like it was just really, really super well done. The art style was amazing. The game, every single little piece of this game was very extremely entertaining and really, really fun. So I had a blast. I really did.
Yeah, it was the best mixed reality experience I think I've ever done. I mean, I can't think of one. I mean, Spatial Ops is really good too. I'll have to put that up there too. But this was one of the cool because it's a third-person platformer kind of thing, to the point where like you jumped into helicopters at one point, and you're flying helicopters with your little dude, and you're looking at it in your own play space, like flying around in each other's heads, shooting at this huge monster that just appeared in the room. It was one of the coolest things, and it's going to be. I'm going to do whatever I have to do to make sure they put this game on the standalone headset somewhere.
For
I mean,
real.
that's definitely everything I ever wanted from MR. We did a game for the HoloLens once a couple years ago, and like I was pitching really hard for like Worms. Remember that game Worms where you would blow up?
Yeah.
I want to do that on like a tabletop, but it was a little too complicated.
Yeah, right.
Like, that sounds perfect. Yeah.
So you're like, screw it, and I'll make Arcaxer one of the best games I've ever played.
It's not.
So guys, let's talk a little Arcaxer, man.
Absolutely. So I mean, first up, I kind of want to show a little bit where we just finished our Augie applications, and the community voting starts in a few days. Since the game launched officially like 2 years ago, we're just going for our marketing campaign, which a few people in this call assisted on. And we're trying to get all the hard work we did on that recognized. And so that's really exciting. Honestly, I would love to get that because it would be validation for all of us. But also we're going for best indie creator because that seems like I think we qualify.
We're the best indie creators, obviously.
We're pretty cool.
Yeah.
Yeah, we're going to be kind of blasting socials in a few days on that. But for stuff that's exciting for regular people, coming up next week, starting on the 17th, we have a sale going on the Quest store. We finally get our first top banner sale, which we're super excited for. We hope that can help us kind of reach a larger audience.
Very nice.
So yeah, tell us a little bit about that. I mean, what do you do? What like?
Yeah, the game's going on sale for 20% off. It's going to be so whenever you turn on your headset and go into the store, we're going to be on the top banner there.
Right on top.
Yeah, we've previously done a bundle with Pixel Ripped, which was super cool, and like we got to meet Anna from Pixel Ripped. Have you guys talked to her?
Oh yeah.
Hell yeah.
Oh, yeah, I just saw a video that you guys posted on Twitter. Yeah,
we did a great interview with her while we were out there, and we all got a chance to spend some time with her at their suite and checked out the new Pixel Rip game.
That's awesome. She was so nice, such a positive force, and like one of the things that we're trying to work on some crossover promotion with Pixel Rip, just because like that bundle is really cool and their art style is really cool, and they're just such a nice group of people.
I just want to say one thing about Pixel Ripped and meeting Anna. So I had to meet her separately from these two, just for like time and stuff. And so she like I freaking love Pixel Rip. And so I was playing the game, and she was like, "Oh, it's so great that you're actually playing," because like some of the other ladies that came through here, they like didn't want to play, or they're like, "I don't play games, I don't play VR or something." She's like, "You're one of the few people, like women, that are actually playing." And then she was like, "Wait a minute, but you're like really good." And she was like, "You're actually like the best person that has come through here that's played." And I was like, can I record you so I can share this with Eric and Skeeva, please? Like, because they were there before me. Yeah, so that's all. I'm done.
I'm not buying that, Skeeva. Are you buying that in any way?
No, but I'll entertain it.
I believe you, Jasmine.
Thank you. No trust around here.
Right. It is a super cool game. I'm glad that you guys had a chance to be like hooked up with them before, but this is it's like a big deal to be on sale, because now you guys are truly on the Quest store. Like, before you were on App Lab, now you're on the Quest store, and it's not always easy to get into a sale when you're on the Quest store. And I know you have to like wait a certain period of time, and like, so it's a really cool thing that you guys, finally have gotten on sale. So anybody who was like, ever on the hedge, like, do I go get this game? I just don't want to pay full price. Now is the time to get it. Like, go get Arcaxer. I don't think we can say enough good things about Arcaxer. Like, I mean, there's so much here to do with this game. Like if you're one of those people that are like, I hate VR games because they're short, not deep experiences, and I'm only playing for 4 or 5 hours in a game, and I don't want to waste my money, go get Arcaxer, because you're going to get 20 plus hours probably out of this game. It's insane how much you guys have put in this game.
Also,
Guys,
they made their own.
Oh, we wanted to make you sweat and work for it. Yeah.
Also, they made the music.
Yeah,
Thank
Anthony
you
did
for that
cool with all the
game.
music. Yeah.
Yeah, that was
Damn
fun.
right.
I learned how to make music as I was making the game. So like as you go through the game, the music actually gets better because the music in the beginning was me learning how to compose. So
That's
The first
amazing.
song's still pretty good.
if you don't like the music at the very beginning, I promise it gets better.
Guys, for people that don't know, if everyone like I'm sure there's got to be someone in this chat that hasn't heard of Arcaxer. Can you give us like a brief summary of what the story is on this game?
Thank you,
Because
Skeeva.
I
I
think
should have
it's
started
so
with
awesome.
Yeah, definitely. So in Arcaxer, you play as an entity who is kind of a being that's composed of like all your social media information that's pulled from the internet. And you and all the other entities in this world are also made from all the like, your Facebook data and your Instagram data. And all these things come together to form like a person in this world. And basically, you're controlling this kind of avatar through this giant infinite tower called the Stack, which apparently has this big treasure at the top that everyone's trying to get to. So as you're fighting through the tower, you're fighting these things called toxins, and toxins are like the toxic personalities of the internet that get formed into these monsters that you have to kill.
There's a lot of those.
A lot of those. They never stop coming.
Yeah,
And then, so
I
that's
love the
kind of the
story.
story of it, and it's really action-heavy, turn-based JRPG. So on your turn, you're throwing spells, you're hacking with your sword, you're shooting with your gun, and then on the enemy turn, it becomes like a bullet hell. So you have to like move and dodge and try not to bang your head on the wall, which I've done more than a few times.
nice.
It's got kind of a lot of Dark Souls appeal to it, where like you don't have to get hit if you learn the patterns and if you're fast. Which like you have to physically be fast, so it's a fun time.
Yeah, I love the perspective changes in this game too. The way you're like, you're at some point you're first person, you're, like, and then you get that top down kind of view at some point too. It's just super cool the way you change. And when you do that perspective change in VR, it's so like immersive and it brings you like down into the game. It's so cool.
And there's a cool mixed reality view in the dungeons if you so choose to turn it on, where the dungeon can be like in your room. It's really sick.
Yeah.
Very cool stuff.
As soon as I got a Quest Pro, I was like, we definitely got to have some kind of mixed reality support because I love the pass through on that.
I mean, the day they patched the API to include the pass through, we had a version running.
Yeah. So not only can you see your pass through environment while you're in third person exploring the dungeons, but you can also turn it on for battles. So that when you go into a battle, you'll be fighting in your real life environment. Yeah. Against
that's super cool. Actually, I haven't even done that yet. I need to do that.
It's really fun to fight imps in your living room. Honestly, it's great.
Who doesn't want to fight imps in their living room? I mean, really, I do.
It's so cool.
Wolveraza said, Arcaxer is what pulled my oldest into VR, as he was reluctant at first, but asked me to buy Arcaxer after playing the demo on side quests, and he really digs the gameplay. You guys brought someone into VR.
Hell yeah! There you go.
Conversion pipeline.
Yeah.
I'm really glad to hear that you played it on side quests. Yeah.
We got one more to join the club.
What's
up?
What's
What's
going on?
2 weeks in a row. You're gonna just come and join us from now on. Just don't. I'm not asking
you live. I'm like, I want in.
Look at seriously. I'm just gonna send you an open link, and you can just come in whenever you want. You just
well,
like,
you know what? I would
10 minutes,
appreciate that more than you ever know.
Seriously, no, I'm 100% serious. You'll have an open link from now on. Anytime you want to come in, you can come in.
You know what? You're now my best friend.
I love this.
Wow, that was a bold statement.
Hell yeah. What's going on, man? How you doing?
I'm good.
So have you while we have Anthony and Aaron here, have you played Arcaxer?
Yeah, actually we were on together.
Yeah,
on your show.
Oh
yeah,
really?
Yeah.
Guys,
I completely missed on this.
Eric's been busy. There's a lot on his mind. It's
It's a long time ago.
It was like 6 months ago.
Thought we were best friends.
I know. Right?
Yeah.
Oh, damn, I missed it. I don't remember. I remember. Now that we talk about it, I do remember. That you came on the co-host like the whole show, right?
Yeah.
Now
I was guest host.
Whole freaking show, man.
Heck yeah, man. Heck yeah.
I had Skeeva's job.
Skeeva, look at him. Skeeva's like he didn't know what to do because he's been like laid off from between realities while they're on their break.
He's
like, I gotta
like,
do
he's like
something.
getting the podcast, and she's like, "Someone put me on, put me on, put me in, coach."
podcast, baby. Come on.
Got to be on a podcast to live.
He was like,
Yeah.
"If I don't tell people about how much I love VR, I'm gonna explode."
Yeah, for real. It's definitely like it builds up in my head and it'll just pop if I don't,
Nah,
get
it's
it out.
definitely in your veins.
It
Oh
is.
God, yeah,
Absolutely.
yeah. Aaron and Anthony, what do we got coming for Arcaxer, or what's coming next for you guys? So
Oh man. Well, we're working on the sequel right now.
No way, really?
Arcaxer 2, yep.
Yeah.
If you join our Discord, we've been posting teaser videos. So we're trying to do at least one video every week on Friday right now. So that's something to look forward to. A whole bunch of new stuff to show off. New combat system. We're working on multiplayer.
Multiplayer.
Yep.
Damn.
It's going to be a whole
Damn.
ordeal.
That's awesome. So guys, when can we expect 2023 or 2024?
It's looking more like 2024 right now.
We're guessing towards the holidays, Q4.
It's going to be a much bigger game than the first one.
Yeah.
Wow.
You're testing my patience here, Q4.
Well,
Okay.
speaking of that, our plan is to initially on the first game, we released on SideQuest and we had early access builds running right up until launch. So like people could play every chunk as it came out. We're not going to do quite like that this time, but we're hoping to put out small little vertical slices so people can play a chunk of the game, get a feel for it. And that way we can interact with SideQuests again, just because I love those guys. And now that they've got Tatiana on their team, like I really want to work with them some more. And honestly, for me, like the feedback that we got the first time around was super invaluable and like so motivational, because it was nights and weekends and we were so tired. And people saying nice things about the game was really helpful.
Heck yeah, that's so awesome, man. That's so awesome. I can't believe that you guys are ready to go. Arcaxer 2. This is gonna be killer, man. I can't wait to see what you guys can do with
Multiplayer.
multiplayer, but even just having new hardware and having more optimization and like what you got, anything that you really wanted to do in Arcaxer they couldn't do because of limitations of the hardware,
There was a lot of limitations.
We're doing a big focus on more of the open world outdoor environments this time. So we have a whole new questing system, a way bigger outdoor environments to explore. So there's going to be a much bigger emphasis on exploration this time.
And we're getting real weird with the levels this time.
Oh, yeah.
So our first level is World of Warcraft mixed with Candyland.
Whoa.
That's definitely weird.
That is a hell of a mix.
That sounds awesome.
Jasmine's like, I'm in. Sign me up right now.
I volunteer.
story-
I volunteer as tribute.
Yeah, right.
The story in World 1 is already hilarious.
It's fantastic.
I can't wait to start showing it off in the first demo.
Heck yeah. We all of us right here just we agree to be testers for you. So just send us keys.
Absolutely. No, you're all going to be getting invitations immediately. Yeah.
And then I'm
Now-
gonna be like, oh, you guys, Arcaxer 2 is so good, but you have to wait till Q4 2024. Not me, though.
Well, at least we'll drip feed out some fun stuff.
Oh yeah.
Now I know you guys can't answer this, but just blink twice if you're using a Quest 3 dev kit. Those are some open eyes.
All right, confirmed here. Arcaxer Quest 3. Let's go.
We'll see.
Love it. I love it. We're gonna talk Quest 3 here in a minute. I want to talk to Mateo and everybody and Jazz and Skeeva about Quest 3.
I was
but-
Mateo first.
because he's down at the bottom. I don't know. Jazz is like, I want to
I'm
be
just
first.
kidding.
I waited like 3 hours to get into this podcast.
I didn't even really
so
know. I like.
You
I
know
know
what?
Jazz
had to-
never pinged me
Let me
like,
be
I think-
first.
He's like, I think Mateo.
Mateo had to heavily hint in chat, and I was like, I really think he was.
I didn't want to hint in chat, but Eric doesn't answer me.
I'm sorry. I'm on my own tonight. I know Todd and
Speaking of no Todd, I planned ahead this time and sent Todd some quest keys, but Todd's not here
Nice.
tonight, so I just DM'd them to you,
Oh.
Eric.
Cool.
Oh, dang.
Nice. You know what we'll do is I will share one of those keys in our chat right now, and then 2 of them we'll get because you sent 3. Thank you so much for doing that. So
Yeah.
I'll put one out there for somebody to grab tonight before we're done, and 2 of them will be up for in the video afterwards. So if you guys comment in the chat and comment in the comments afterwards and just type whatever, you'll get you in there to win one of 2 of these Arcaxer keys. So
Yeah.
that's awesome. Thanks, guys.
Yeah,
Of course.
love sharing the loves.
Cool. Let's do this. Let's have another update in a couple of months and go over. Let's come back again. Let's do another Arcaxer update. Let's keep doing this to keep people thinking about Arcaxer too. So
I love talking to you guys. Always happy
Yeah,
to.
yeah.
Yeah.
awesome, man. Thanks, guys, for coming. Appreciate it.
All
All
right,
right.
take care.
Thanks.
Bye, guys.
See ya.
Yeah.
All right, Mateo. Now they're gone. How much do you hate the PlayStation VR 2? Tell us.
No. If you were watching your chat, you would have noticed that I'm a fan of the PlayStation VR 2. I mean, it's not without issues. It definitely has some issues. I think there were some questionable decisions with the hardware they chose. But then again, a lot of the things are subjective, like comfort, which is not a big issue for me. But like, was it the right choice to go with a panel that supports HDR and vibrant colors? And, OLED, was that the right decision? Some people, the color impact is minimal, and things like the screen persistence is a bigger issue, or that like film they have that really just looks weird, like really just catches your eye. But I don't know, I can't say what has the largest appeal. I can only say what stands out to me.
Yeah, it's weird for me, and I know there are issues. Like I know because there's people that I trust that are like, hey, I have this issue, or Brad was like, I have this issue.
Yeah.
But for me, it's tough because to be 100% honest, and I told her this, I don't see them. Like,
Yeah.
and maybe I do see them, but they don't. They bother me so little that I just don't care. And I remember looking at it in Horizon and like going, oh yeah, and then I just was like, but that's fucking beautiful, and I moved on.
See, when I first put the headset on and started Horizon, the Mora effect was the first thing I noticed. And I went, oh dear God, this is a terrible first impression. I'm like, and then it just faded away. And then it just faded away, and I was captured into the game, and then I didn't see it unless I was really looking for it. Which is good, but we shouldn't have had to deal with that. I felt like that was avoidable. And I don't know. That's why I feel like Sony might made some of the wrong decisions, but who am I to say? I'm just some dude in his basement.
Is everything mirrored in your basement too, by the way? It looks like your door is on the other side.
I don't know why it would have mirrored. That's the side the door is normally on.
Or like okay. So usually I think it's always to your left.
It is. Restream just default mirrors your camera.
Screw you guys.
How dare you come in here with
Yeah.
your door on the wrong side?
I mean,
I gotta tell you. So Resident Evil 8 probably has the most noticeable of some of these problems, and it's such a weird thing because it throws me off. I'm like so torn, right? I love Resident Evil 8. I love the OLED and the HDR in that game so much. At the same time, the issues are so glaring in that game that I'm constantly fighting myself over it. Like when I move my head, pieces of the world actually feel like they're moving.
The reprojection on the PlayStation VR is the worst of any headset I have ever seen. But that's game dependent. And they probably should have just went, 90 frames per second instead of 60, reprojection to 120. But I don't know. Again, maybe they tested that. Maybe that didn't work out better. Maybe there's too many, frame stutters or whatever the case may be. They couldn't maintain 90. I don't know. I know Capcom made a few statements about it recently, and they were, had to work hard to keep the graphical fidelity up, which is understandable. I mean, the game was designed. They said it was designed without considering VR. So they already pushed the graphics as far as they could. Now they got to get up to 120 or 90 frames per second when they weren't doing that previously. Yeah, it's going to be some concessions.
Now that seems avoidable to me because they knew. I mean, I can't believe for a minute that after Resident Evil 7 that they didn't think that they were going to end up on the next PlayStation VR headset. So why would you make it more difficult for yourself and not combat these issues during the development of the game?
See, just to put my mindset from like the developer perspective, you sit there and go, well, listen, we don't want to sacrifice anything of our product. And our main product, where we're going to get our sales, is flat screen. So we're going to do whatever it takes to produce that product and not think about anything else. Maybe they left some other things in there to make it easier along the way. Maybe the engine, obviously the engine has some things that make it easier to port over to VR. But they said, listen, our focus is flat screen version. We don't even know if the next version of PlayStation VR will truly happen. So forget about that for now. Put all our focus and attention where it needs to be. And I mean, truth be told, at most, what could they have sold? Like 300,000 people playing Resident Evil 8 in VR compared to millions on flat. Just numbers.
Yeah, I guess.
The hard
I
truth.
guess, but like, I don't know. I say give everyone
I
paid the
get
same
it.
amount for your game.
I get it,
You know?
but there's
They
money
have
people
to.
in all these companies, and there have to be.
Yeah, no, for sure. And either way, one of the reasons I bring that up is because I was saying that it does have the most of the PlayStation VR 2 issues I've seen have been in that game. But at the same time, where the OLED and the HDR truly shine are also in that game.
Yeah.
So it's like it's the extreme on both sides, but the dark blacks walking through these hallways with flashlights and like that sun shining through the windows and going outside and being like blinded by the light, like, and the vibrant colors, like it was all to the point where I was happy almost to deal with those other issues because those positives were so strong. So
I have
Yeah.
to call my sister now. Goodbye.
Bye, Jazz.
I wasn't
Hi,
even supposed to
Jasmine.
be here.
Thanks for I know. Thanks for hanging. Appreciate it. Yeah, and that's kind of what I was saying too. Is like there's so many things that outweigh any of the small negatives that I just
Yeah.
quickly forget about them. Like the game, number one, the games themselves are better than most any game I'm playing on any other platform.
I mean, that's the end all be all for me. Quality of games, and it's something that the Quest 2 really just can't provide.
Yeah, and that's why what I wanted to touch on tonight, which was the Quest 3 stuff, is that's why I am super hopeful. And from what I'm hearing, Oculus or Meta knows this, and that's why they are holding some of their biggest titles for this Quest 3 launch. And I do think we are going to see a resurgence of quality standalone VR this fall. What are you guys' thoughts? Quest 3, are you getting to the point where you're starting to like reach for it now? Like, because we're there now. We're heading to, we're into April. We're going to be into May soon. The hype train will start rolling soon for Quest 3. Are you ready for it, or are you still like just PSVR 2 tunnel?
I mean, listen, any avenue VR goes in, I'm ready for. Like I'm not, a fanboy of anything. As much as I like to, crap on the Quest, I respect it. I know what it's done for the industry. It's the only one that sold 20 million, pieces of hardware, units of hardware. So, I totally get it. It's just when you're the biggest player, you're also the biggest target. So that's why, it's easy to take shots at them. And it's just fun. People get pissed off. It's fun. No, but I'm definitely ready for it, and I completely agree. I think they are holding back some stuff because they know they're up against the PlayStation now. They know that their quality of games has been lacking. They recently made the comment that there's a huge correlation between quality of games and number of sales. Go figure. So I think, and what do they own? 9 studios now, and they've had a lot of those studios dead quiet for years.
Yeah,
It's coming.
Yep. All of these studios they've bought, none of them have produced a game since being purchased by Meta.
Yep.
I can't think of one. Maybe there is, but I can't think of one off the top of my head. So they didn't buy them to kill the market, right?
Yeah.
They bought them for a reason, and I think that is to develop for their next big headset. So I'm definitely super stoked to see what's coming here. Between the performance of the headset, the smaller form factor, and all of these studios that they bought, they have to have
Yeah.
cards up their sleeve. I just can't imagine that they don't. That would be
No,
bizarre.
I mean, sometimes you sit there and go, Meta, do you realize you became a game company? And because all of their focus was on metaverse. The problem with the metaverse is it's too far out. Like, a public company cannot, work on a project that far out because they have investors and they gotta, continually make bigger returns. and everyone got screwed this year. Every
Mhm.
tech industry had to do layoffs and stuff. So it's a really, really insane endeavor. And they started it. They came out so hard, like they showed that whole presentation, and people are floating around and calling in on phones, and it's like, yeah, you showed us maybe what we might have in 10 years. And a lot of people are like, I hate to say this, but every year Elon Musk says, "Oh yeah, next year our Teslas are gonna fly," and then next year it's like, "Oh yeah, next year our Teslas are gonna fly and shoot laser beams." But somehow he keeps the hype going. Like, people saw through it immediately with Meta, and they're like, "Wait a second, I tried on Horizon's World, and it's crap. It's not that cool stuff you showed me." And things didn't go so well for them. And a lot of people do not believe in the metaverse at all anymore. So yeah, I think they need to go back to their roots. I'm gonna try and rant a little bit less. I'm very ranty tonight.
No, I like it,
Yeah.
man. I like. Hey, whenever he comes in and rants, I don't have to. I'm like perfect for me. But I'm with you 100%. Look, I am a hardware whore. Like, I love hardware, but to me, I'm
Yeah.
probably more excited about the software this year, because I do think that we're going to see some amazing experiences. But the hardware is going to provide us with those experiences that I want to see. I am done
Yeah.
with the fucking mobile shitty games. I'm just
I
done
know.
with it. I mean,
I know.
and especially with the PlayStation VR 2, if you try and give me more of that garbage, I'm
Yeah.
going to move myself farther away from it, back to PC VR if they have any games to play, or to PlayStation VR 2. So I think they know that. I think they know they have an issue of retention with a lot of these headsets being in
Mhm.
closets because there's nothing
Yeah.
to play. So I think that they have been holding this out. I think we are going to see a ton of new games this year. So for me, the hardware is super exciting. I'm ready for it. I'm ready to start the hype train for the new hardware, but it's the software that really is going to have me excited.
That's really what we need. So I had, two people. Well, one person let it slip that they were testing a Quest 3 dev kit to me.
Mhm.
And that was actually at PAX East, and then they looked around to make sure their PR person wasn't near
You're like,
them.
whoops.
Like, "Oh, crap, did he hear?" And then I know someone else working with it. I don't have a ton of details on it, though, and I didn't feel, I wasn't gonna push them. Because just the fact that they spoke to me openly, I respect that enough to leave it there. But back to those games, I I will go on record saying that Asgard's Wrath 2 is coming as a Quest title. It's coming. Someone's telling me details about it, unless they're just completely blowing smoke up my butt. There's someone I trust. I believe it. I've had other people say, listen, no, I was a playtester. They could be totally making it up, but the person who's giving me details about it, I completely trust. So I think that'll be a title we see, and everyone's always going on and on about how good Asgard was as a PC title. So I would love to see that. And if they could get it 75% of the way, on Quest, that's a huge win. That's a huge win. Like, you've had a few years to develop the mechanics a little bit more, and then get the graphics on a Quest 3 like 75% of what PC was. Huge win. I think it's very possible.
I do too. I think the new chip is going to be huge for the headset. I think it's going to be able to allow them to do a ton more than they were able to do. And you got to remember too, most of the games that we've been playing, maybe not the ones that have just come out, but most of the games we've been playing literally probably post 6 months ago have been had to be also be played on the Quest 1, which
Yeah.
held them back hugely. And you're not going to have that. Now, most of these games will have to be played in the Quest 2, which is fine, because we still know that's decent hardware. But the Quest 1 is super outdated hardware.
Yeah.
And a lot of the games that we were having to play, post like 6 months ago, were Quest 1 dependent, and that was a pain in the ass. Trust me, I know. We were talking to these developers that were like, it's a fucking albatross around our necks that we still have to do this.
Yeah.
And you know what? Meta was actually telling them up to like 6 months ago, we don't care if you make it for Quest 1 anymore or not. We're like, whatever. Like, if you don't want to, don't do it. But some of them thought they had to.
Yeah, I know. I was talking to New Blood at PAX East. That's a medieval, which is fantastic, by the way.
Yeah, I didn't get a chance to try that. I'm excited for that.
Yeah, so I was talking to them, and they were like, when we applied our game, they told us we had to go on Quest 1, and we were like, no, and they were able to get an exemption. But they said they had to fight for that exemption.
Nice. I think they must have pivoted at some point. Meta did, because from the people we were talking to, they're like, They don't really care anymore, and they
Well,
were like,
now
even
they
to the
don't
point,
care.
yeah, even to the point where like they're like, well, do you need us to make a Rift version? And they're like, no, we don't really care if you make a Rift
Well,
version.
they don't care about the Rift version.
So basically, you're just like, well, just make a Quest
I-
2 version and make a Quest 3 version. We could care less about anything
I
else.
wouldn't be surprised if one day they just pull the plug on the Oculus app. I mean, people will lose their minds, certain people, but Meta is a very like numbers oriented company. They're like, listen, if we have to trample 100 of our old fans to get 1 million new ones, I don't care. Like they're very much like that. They don't.
Oh yeah, ask all the
If
Echo players.
whatever helps their growth, they're all in for. And you could say, oh my God, we're the people who started this. We're the people who got them off the ground. They wouldn't be here if it wasn't for us. But at the same time, that's how business works. You want to be a successful business, you have to make some of these decisions. So as much as it feels scummy and I hate it, and I feel bad for these people who spend their money, supported a company who kind of just dissed them, it's part of the game. It sucks.
Yeah. Well, and this hardware has to die. You know what I mean? To get
Especially mobile hardware.
Yeah. So yeah, exactly. Mobile. I mean, how often do we get new phones now?
I know.
I mean, this is basically a new phone. I mean, it's like every couple of years or every year we get a new phone. I mean, and we can't rely on old hardware if it's going to hold games back. I mean, again,
Yeah.
it sucks for all the Quest 1 users out there, but we got to move on. And you know what? Eventually, sucks for all the Quest 2 users out there. But if you're holding our Quest 3 games back, then we got to say goodbye to that too. I'm not saying we got to say goodbye to that now, but in a year from now, if we're having the same conversation next year and we're like, it's time to
definitely.
our hats.
And when you see Bosworth out there like, oh no, the Quest 2 is gonna have a really long lifespan. I'm like, no. Bull. I don't buy it. I don't buy it. I don't understand how they could add features to the Quest 2, like to make it like, even if they sold it for like 150 or $200 2 years from now, that you'd say, oh yeah, at 150, that sounds good. I don't know. I don't see that being reasonable.
You don't trust the guy who repeatedly lies to you publicly all the time? I don't understand. What's wrong with you, dude?
Who decided to make this dude like the face? Like who was like, yeah, this is going to be a good idea.
He is a genuine scumbag. I don't like him at all.
Like I don't disagree with a ton of the stuff they're doing. I mean, I don't like it, but I'm like, okay, I kind of have to see it. But fuck, man, he does it does it in an antagonizing way to like piss people off on purpose.
In the
sometimes.
face of his customers, and he laughs about it. He's a gross human.
Like they just need to go find somebody else.
Like one of the first presentations where he like showed his face and became like a public figure. They were talking about how like, no, Meta is gonna clean up their act and we're going to be okay with your data and you come first. And they were putting the bullet points on the screen as he was saying it. And he was like, the consumer comes first. And it was like number 4 on the list. And I'm like, it's not even number 1 on your list. How can we come first?
Yeah, no, it's so tough. Hey, I just want to mention Show Futuristic is in chat. Me and Skeeva had a chance to meet up with him in Vegas. That was such a good time, right?
Yeah, what's up, dude?
Yeah, I just want to see. He said, "This is the part I disagree with. We can't have the phone cycle adoption system if it's a gaming console like everyone seems to want. It has to be closer to the console cycle. And the only problem, the only problem I see with that, it's moving too fast.
I think they have to go to a subscription model. And then you return your hardware, but I don't know if that's feasible for them, because what do they do with the old hardware? Like it's I don't know if they can repurpose it for something.
If the PlayStation ran on a battery, it would be the same thing. Whenever you attach a battery to something and you depend on that battery, it has to cycle faster because battery tech isn't there yet.
Yep.
Well, and why are you gonna make new stuff with super old hardware? They're not producing it anymore. It's going to cost you way more for an old chip than it is to buy the new chips.
Right. And if you look at consoles, I mean, they do change from cycle to cycle with like graphic wise, but most of the components pretty damn close to what they were before. We have so many big jumps right now in VR because it's a fast moving technology that we have to keep up with it.
Yeah. But we're kind of hitting like some serious diminishing returns in mobile hardware right now. I mean, they'll figure things out, but that's happening this, like, that's also happening for PC hardware, but you don't see it because of two things. We're not power limited, and we're not size limited. And that's why the new RTX cards are like this freaking big, pulling 600 watts. Because we are hitting one wall. You know, we're down to like 4 nanometers when we're producing these chips. Can't get much smaller. So certain things, you know, we're getting limited on, but that's why we're expanding in size and power consumption.
Yeah,
So until we figure out something else,
Yeah.
we'll have cards size of cars.
Exactly. They're getting bigger, not smaller now. Yeah, I mean, I think we got to find a happy medium. I don't disagree with Show Futuristic. Like, I don't want to see a yearly thing, but I mean, so a console cycle is what, 5 to 6 years? I mean, I think we probably
it's
are
longer
at a half.
these days.
Yeah.
I mean, it used to be 5 to 6 years. They've really managed to like stretch it out.
Doing the pros and the slims and shit like that definitely helps them along.
Yeah, they have the rehash, the hardware. But the Pro on the PlayStation 4 was actually a pretty significant boost.
Yeah. It was
surprising.
big. Yeah. I remember some games that you can almost not even play on the regular that the Pro was playing. So it was significant.
How long has the Quest 2 been out now?
2020? September 20?
I thought you were like 20 years.
No, I think it was September of 2020. I want to say.
Yeah, I was going to say we haven't hit 3 years yet.
Yeah, September, October,
2.5.
2020.
I mean,
That's, to me, I think 3 to 4 years. I mean, I don't think we're going to get 4 years out of between headsets, but I think 3 years.
Yeah.
I mean, it depends. What do you mean? We're not going to get 4 years. There'll be people at that time point still using their Quest for sure. But anyone who's interested in new products, new games, the Quest 2 isn't going to be cutting it.
Yeah.
Well, what do you do when those headsets? So I remember a little bit ago, Apple got in trouble because people found out that they were downclocking older chips,
the batteries, right? Or making the phone slower, or making the battery drain faster.
Right, because when the chip can't get the wattage it needs from the old battery, then you have a system crash, right? It can't do what it needs to do. Your operating system crashes, your phone becomes unreliable, right? So when you have a battery in something, like, that's the key thing. I can't wait someday until we have some crazy battery breakthrough and this isn't a thing anymore. But if your battery that is not removable in the Quest can't push out the wattage and amperage it needs to run that chip properly, then the system becomes unreliable. The company is going to get in a whole lot of is going to get a bad reputation anyway, because now their hardware doesn't work properly anymore. And it's because it can't run anymore because of battery degradation. So.
And let me tell you, battery tech, that's a hard limit we're at too. Until the aliens show up, I don't think that's getting much better, because lithium ion batteries are like miracles in a little box. The energy density there is absolutely insane. You ever see one of those things explode? You can't put them out. You cannot put them out. I almost had a building burn down. One of the buildings that I worked for, the battery, the UPS system and the major battery bay went into thermal runaway. And they were just like, oh, if the sprinklers go off, all it's going to do is make steam. They're like, it's not going to put this out at all. You're just going to make lots and lots of steam for like 2 hours. So it's battery tech. They always say, oh, there's some breakthrough coming, but no. I mean, you can increase it with some like heavier, more expensive metals, but it's not cost effective, and they're also limited. So
to me, it's like the whole idea of like thinking of this as a console and like, the cycle of it. Yeah. Here's one thing you have to take into account too. This is a console that you wear on your face.
Yeah.
So it's not just, okay, this is the console I put on my desk and it's static and it's here and I don't give a shit how big it is. It doesn't really matter to me. This is a headset that gets lighter. It gets thinner. The lenses get better. You know what I mean? So it's not just, we can make it better optimized. We can make it better graphically. It's about making it lighter. It's about making it smaller. It's about making, the screens better so it looks better inside the headset. So it's the technologies in the side of the thing are moving so fast. I mean, go talk to Brad. He's seen 3 different types of micro OLEDs this year that he didn't even think were out there. Like, and they're changing that fast. That's how fast they're coming. So And affordability is an issue too. Something that's affordable today that they maybe thought about using, or not affordable today, could be affordable 6 months from now, and that's all of a sudden they
Yeah,
decide to pivot and change.
I mean, LCD display tech has probably been one of the biggest movers too. Like for VR, there were questions that we never tried to solve before. Like that's one thing. Like to figure out the lens and a form factor that fits your head comfortable and stuff like that. Because this isn't a helmet, remember? Like it has to stay in your head in a certain position, yada yada. There was a lot of things that had to be solved, just like tracking, inside out tracking. There's a lot of things that they had to solve from square one. But some of the other improvements just come from natural tech increasing, like LCD tech. I mean, you couldn't get affordable panels back when the HTC Vive released. You couldn't get high resolution, small, compact, affordable panels. And now it's no problem.
Mm-hmm.
So that alone really pushes VR ahead. But yeah, I mean, I think the Quest 3 is going to be pretty significant. From the hardware standpoint, from the internal specs, we're looking at a difference of like the Quest 1, the Quest 2. That's what we're looking at again. So, I mean, that's not game changing, but it's significant.
It's close. And think about the difference that Quest 2 is today than what it was even when it launched.
Yeah. What they need to do, though, I really feel like they almost need to, like, from square one, fix their UI, their operating system. There's for something that is hard to get user adoption up, it can be so unfriendly, that headset. Like,
For real.
you open the menu and it stutters, and if you have motion sickness, well, now I gotta stop playing because that headset just stuttered all over the place. Every update breaks something. I mean, it's just like, I get it. You want to be able to say, like, listen, we're giving your device so many new features, and it's such a great value, but you break half the features when you unleash new ones on us, and half the time they're features that I don't know. We don't want. Some people want. I look at it as I want to play games. As there's some people out there who just want to wear their headset 24/7. I'm an old man. I don't want to do that. I want to, I want its main purpose. But yeah, no, I get it. The younger kids, you want that functionality there, but not at the expense of things that we rely on.
It's amazing how often they break shit when they're trying to do this stuff. It's like most companies could never get away with this. Like to like complete. Like I remember when they first came out and they were doing some of these things. It was completely breaking shit. Like
Yeah.
like you couldn't use the headset. Like people got locked into the cycles and they couldn't. If you didn't update, you couldn't do this or you couldn't do that. And they just were like, yeah, whatever. Yeah, next update you'll be fine. Okay.
At PAX East, Peaky Blinders, Maze Theory, they couldn't show off people playing the game because apparently their headsets were updated to the latest version. And the latest version now, when you go to stream, this is their words, so don't quote me on this, but now when you go to stream, it's looking for internet access. So they couldn't stream over LAN to their TVs to show people playing the game. So they basically had two TVs that were just showing like the minute and a half trailer constantly. That's all it showed.
I mean, correct me if I'm wrong, but I have always tried using casting functions throughout expos since the dawn of time, and Google requires the use of their DNS servers and internet to do anything with Chromecasts and streaming in that way. So I think it's a limitation.
Listen, don't quote me on that. Maybe it could be
as well.
The streaming service. But they said, they tested it previous and then they got here and but who knows?
Yeah. Now they completely upgraded two different versions of the Android operating system too. So they've made a significant jump in the OS, which is definitely going to break things.
Yeah.
But just like we've talked about in not stopping technology from hardware perspective because of old hardware, I guess we do have to move on from the software perspective too.
That's true.
But there are definitely good ways to do that and bad ways to do that. In enterprise settings, when businesses are relying on things, it's very hard to just break a whole bunch of features with the next feature, right? You have to be very considerate of the people that are making money off your software. Now, Meta has obviously put in their terms of service that and made it very hard for you to make money with their software, so they don't have to necessarily worry about that. They've dodged a lot of those legal bullets, right? But kind of like they do, they step on their customer's face to kind of get up to the next level, which is kind of a bummer. But again, I don't want to stifle the progression of technology. I know some things have to happen, but
I could always defend both sides. Like,
Yeah.
I get it, and it's tough because you can't like when you're dealing with numbers and growth and capitalism and all that, you can't be the good guy. You can't just sit there and always be the good guy and be like, we don't want to upset our players, and this update might break a game that one person out of 20 million plays. And you just got to do these things, and you got to aim to please the most people, and that's your goal, while continuing to grow, while maintaining your stock price and all that nonsense.
Yeah, I mean, and this is an issue. This is not like a VR issue, right? This is a same thing in console. Every time they kill an old console, it's time to move on to new hardware. And you know what? We're not making our games for PlayStation 4 anymore. Sorry, you have to go get a PlayStation 5, and the same thing will happen to the PlayStation 5. This is an issue that's gone on for some time, but it's just moving faster. In virtual reality, and we're going to have more headsets. We're talking to Deckard's coming. And Brad had some stuff. We have an Apple headset that's most likely going to come. Whether that's going to be any type of a gaming headset, I don't know. But this was an awesome conversation, and I'm so glad we did it, man. And we could literally just do a show, the three of us talking about hardware for hours. I guarantee it.
It's so funny because I was just talking to an old friend on the phone the other day, and we were talking about PSVR 2 and the PS5, and he was telling me, I'm not getting a PS5. They're not supporting PS4 games anymore, and blah blah blah, and this is bullshit, and blah 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 blah. So yeah, that mentality will definitely always be there. People, people rightfully so want to be able to keep the things that they've paid for. They want to be able to play the games that they paid for. I totally get that, but at the same time, you gotta move forward. You can't stifle the progression of technology as a whole to keep some old games running. So yeah.
I'm for a happy medium. Yeah. I'm for a happy medium. Let's find somewhere in the middle. But you know what I mean? This technology needs to advance. And I think, if that's the Quest 3, and if every 3 years we get double the hardware of, and we can make these huge jumps, I am not for making incremental jumps for sure. I don't think that, you know what I mean? I would prefer at least 3 to 4 years. If we can get that and we can make big jumps from Quest 2 and what I think the Quest 3 will be, and I think what you think the Quest 3 will be, I think it's going to be a significant jump to the point where you're going to want to be there. And I think it's going to be affordable enough still that most people are going to want to move there into that thing. And the games are what's going to pull us, Skeeva. It's the games.
I think I'm gonna argue a little too that it's gonna get worse first before it gets better with some of the stuff, right? Because we are now jumping into a whole new era of technology called artificial intelligence, right? And it's snowballing faster than any other tech I've ever seen in my life. And I've been in tech since the minute I could speak. I was like, I'm like trying to type on a computer, right? And nothing is growing as fast as AI. AI is going to be able to optimize and do things and make hardware even better, even faster. So I think we're in for a very interesting future, but a really cool future where we'll be able to almost speak existences into reality, right? Not tomorrow, maybe not 5 years from now, but my kid will literally be in the holodeck, going, hey, I want to be in a spaceship flying around Mars, but I want blah blah blah, and just whatever you want will be obtainable almost
I would
instantly.
murder for a holodeck.
Oh my god.
I'm still here, by the way, guys. My camera is just off.
No, it's cool.
My wife is walking around in the background, and I respect her.
Hell yeah. I don't blame you on that one. My wife would kill me. Alex VR says, I love Q2C VR gamer forever and ever.
Oh,
Alex,
Alex
my camera,
VR,
though.
we miss you, buddy.
Love you, dude. Miss you too.
Are we on the right direction now?
Hey,
You
look at
are,
you.
you've
You're on the right
unmirrored.
side.
Yeah,
All
I
right.
told you it's the stupid restream.
Yep.
It was mirroring me.
It
Yeah.
defaults to a mirrored state.
Yep.
Yeah.
It
You have
happened
to
to Skeeva
uncheck the
too.
mirroring.
Skeeva was
Super
like,
weird.
"Is my BR backwards?" And I'm like, "Yep."
Yeah. Well, I really noticed it when it said "Be right back" and it was
Yep.
backwards.
I was looking at that beautiful poster behind you, the
Oh,
VR
yeah.
YouTuber Awards, and it was
Oh,
totally
look
backwards.
at that! How do you even
Yeah.
see that back?
I
there?
have
Nice eyes,
I
man.
have that on your screen there, and I also have it hanging on my wall right over there. You've seen it firsthand, Mateo.
I saw it in person at
did.
Skeeva's apartment.
Oh my
Yep.
God. I haven't even seen Skeeva's apartment.
His head was
Hell,
touching
dude.
the ceiling.
I want to be in the greenness. I want to be in the green zone. Guys, we have to wrap this up. My wife is like, "Can I come back to the room sometime tonight?" It's 11 o'clock, and I'm like, "I'm gonna kick them out of here."
it's
I
not.
literally at 9 o'clock. I'm like, "You guys
No,
gotta go."
I'm good to go. My wife said I've been down here too long too.
Yeah, right. All right, this was so much fun, guy. Literally, like I was saying to Skeeva, this was such a good conversation. I would love to do this again. Get back in here. Let's talk some hardware. Let's talk some software. Let's do this again soon. Mateo, again, anytime you want to come in, you're welcome. Get back in here.
Oh yeah, get me that link.
Yep, I'll have you a
My
link.
permalink.
Every week.
I'm gonna get
It'll
it
be
tattooed on me.
the Mateo permalink. I love it.
Nice.
All right, guys. Thanks for being here tonight. We appreciate it. Thank you for joining us. Next week, back in the studio, back to normal. D, Todd, maybe Mateo. Who knows? You could just show up.
I'm down.
Anytime. All right, guys. Good night. We'll see you next week.
Night, guys.
Take it easy. Wait, hold on. Wait. I see. I have to do shit now.
No, and do the thing.
Todd, where are you, Todd?
We'll make
End
sure
the
you do
show.
the other thing
Let's
first.
do the thing. All right, let's hit the thing and let's do the thing.
Yeah.
Bye-bye. I read the wrong one. That's the wrong fucking one.
You hit the wrong thing.
That's Reality Bites. Let's try it again.